President Tinubu appoints new management team for FGN Power Company. Information Minister engages editors, sues for honesty in dissemination of federal government's activities.
You do something that promotes development, that promotes cohesion, that promotes unity, that is geared towards the prosperity that all of us desire to have.
Secretary to the Government of the Federation notes Nigeria's commitment to tackling challenges in energy sector as 2024 Nigeria International Energy Summit closes.
The summit has provided a platform for stakeholders to engage in meaningful discussions on innovations, policies, advancements, and overall trajectory of the energy sector.
Also on the news, State House correspondent in Qatar briefs on expectations from presidential state visit. You're welcome to the Network News. I am Lamia Ali. Michael Olale joins us from Lagos, and Musa Abubakar is standing by for the business news. Also on the news tonight, the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity Office of the First Lady provides perspectives on the Women Agriculture Support Program. Remember, you can watch this broadcast live on our website, nta.ng/live, and on our social media handles displayed on your screen. We begin with presidential appointments, where President Bola Tinubu has approved the appointments of new members of the management team of the FGN Power Company Limited. They are the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer, Kenny Osebi Anwe, who has been reappointed. Company Secretary and Legal Advisor, Professor Mamman Lawal, also reappointed. Chief Technical Officer is Ebenezer Olawale Faponda, while Commercial Officer is Babatunde Daramola Oniru. The Chief Financial Officer is Julius Oyekola Olabi. President Tinubu anticipates that with full constitution of the management team, the FGN Power Company Limited will work assiduously to realize the core objectives of the Presidential Power Initiative, PPI, in close collaboration with Siemens Energy through a holistic overhaul, modernization, and expansion of the national grid and other critical measures to ensure the growth of the Nigeria electricity supply industry. Also, President Bola Tinubu has approved the appointments of 4 Nigerian professionals to serve as executive directors of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, for a renewable term of 4 years. They are Engineer Oluwagbenga Ajiboye, Executive Director, Transmission Service Provider; Engineer Nefisatu Asabi Ali, Executive Director, Independent System Operations; Ochije Ogeni Chukwuka, Executive Director, Finance and Accounts; Abiodun Folusho Afolabi, Executive Director, Human Resources and Corporate Services. The President expects the appointees to put in their experience, competence level, qualifications, character, and dedication wholly in realizing the innovative and expansive energy vision of his administration. Now, President Bola Tinubu is set to begin his engagements with Qatari authorities in Doha tomorrow, Saturday, after receiving briefings from members of the Nigeria delegation on the visit. Our State House correspondent, Musbah Damwahab, is joining us now from Doha. Musbah, do we have a direction for the engagements yet?
Yes, first and foremost, let's go back to the basis of this visit by President Bola Tinubu to Qatar. It was based on the invitation of the king himself, Sheikh Tanim bin Hamad Al Thani, who invited the president to the state to come and have discussion. It points towards a particular issue that the authority and government of Qatar are still very much interested in the bilateral and trade relations between the two countries, and they are ready indeed to improve on the existing ones. And going by the number of ministers that we have here and the sectors which they represent, for example, we have a Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dele Alake, Minister of Finance, and Coordinating Minister of Economy, Wale Edu. Professor Ali Pate of Health and Social Welfare is also here. Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Doris Nite, is here. Of course, Minister of Foreign Affairs is here. Yusuf Tugal. So we expect the discussions to go around these sectors that I have mentioned earlier, and it's starting right from tomorrow, Saturday, and then Sunday, when the business forum will come up. Earlier, we spoke to some of the ministers on this delegation, and just take a listen to them.
Nigeria should expect a partnership between Nigeria and Qatar. We are both major gas producers. For instance, Qatar is, in terms of reserve, the third largest when it comes to gas. And Nigeria, as you know, also is a major producer and exporter of gas. So Qatar is in several countries in Africa, but not in Nigeria. They're in South Africa, they're in Rwanda, they're several other countries. So we think it's important. It's a state visit. It's on the invitation of the Emir of Qatar, and it's something that needs to be honored, so that we look at not just gas, but also investment in services, perhaps ports, and several other sectors of the economy.
Well, we're excited to say that there's a lot of hope for Nigerian youth, as we have been able to mobilize, on Mr. President's instruction, young entrepreneurs seeking to scale their businesses and be able to get more investment in their businesses. And we have about 17 young Nigerian entrepreneurs who have come all the way to attend the Nigeria-Qatar Business and Investment Forum. And we are hoping to explore new areas of cooperation in sectors such as agriculture, manufacturing, oil and gas.
And again, Qatari government has been providing support to some states in Nigeria, humanitarian support to some states, particularly in the northern part of the country, and Kaduna State is one of them. And we have a state governor on ground. We also spoke to him earlier on what is expected between the Qatari authority and the East State.
Only 5 months ago, the Qatar Charity Foundation have invested millions of dollars to support Kaduna State government in the areas of support for underprivileged, vulnerable. In fact, Qatari charity organization at the moment is building hundreds of houses for the less privileged in Kaduna. They are also building hospitals. They are also supporting Kaduna State government in the area of healthcare. These are some of the intervention we'll be receiving from Qatari government as well as Qatar charity organization. And we are here to also look at other areas of collaboration.
So basically the discussions will center on economic development, and culture transfer will also be involved, as well as security. So we expect these discussions to come up as from tomorrow, Saturday, and then Sunday.
Very much, Ms. Bao, for that update from Qatar. Now, the federal government has tasked the newly appointed board of the Nigerian Christian Pilgrim Commission to demonstrate unwavering devotion and commitment in addressing the challenges facing the nation. Vice President Kashim Shettima gave the charge when he received members of the board at the presidential villa, where he acknowledges President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's positive impact on the nation, attributing the president's success to divine blessings and purity of heart. The Vice President said there is need for leaders to invest in building bridges, noting President Tinubu's contributions in providing an alternative platform for the Nigerian political system. Executive Secretary, Nigeria Christian Pilgrims Commission, Bishop Stephen Adegbite, expressed gratitude to President Tinubu for the opportunity to serve on the board. He also commended the Vice President's exceptional leadership role, recounting instances of support for the church and efforts to foster peace and harmony.
And we believe by the grace of God, Nigeria will soon come out of the quagmire. Nigeria belongs to God, and we are here during the Lenten season. The Muslim community will soon join us, and by the grace of God, before the end of the true Lent and fasting period, Nigeria will be stronger again. This is the country that we have. There is no other place that can be like Nigeria. Nigeria is one of the most luckiest nations in the world. And I say to all Nigerians, let us join hands together with Mr. President. They have good intention for this nation. Mr. President don't want anyone to suffer. The Vice President don't want anyone to suffer. And by his grace, Nigeria will be a better place for you and I.
Bishop Adegbite noted that the Commission's role goes beyond pilgrimage as it extends to the duty of ensuring a harmonious environment for the nation. Now, the federal government says all plans have been concluded for the commencement of food distribution to vulnerable Nigerians nationwide. Minister for Agriculture and Food Security, Abubakar Kyari, says the flag off for the distribution of the grains would be in Niger State and subsequently in other zones of the Federation. The minister reveals that the Office of the National Security Advisor and all relevant stakeholders will partner to ensure smooth and transparent distribution of the food items.
We are going to start making deliveries, and as they go, and we are targeting local governments anyway. So we take it to the states and then on to the local government. So it will be on the template of NEMA. NEMA is the one doing the distribution, and the Office of the National Security Advisor.
Niger State government has also procured more than 120 trucks of assorted grains to complement the federal government's food palliative distribution. He says President Bola Tinubu is expected to be in the state next week for the distribution of the food items.
We will continue to cultivate. The only way out of this crisis is to go back to agriculture.
Ongoing efforts by the federal government to strengthen the agricultural sector and ensure food security in Nigeria will gain better traction with deliberate involvement of more women in the sector. Fortunately, Nigeria's First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, is leading a campaign to realize this goal with the Renewed Hope Initiative Women Agricultural Support Program, recently launched for women in the Southeast. As the flag-off ceremony in Owerri, Imo State, where 100 women farmers received 500,000 naira grants each, along with agricultural inputs, the First Lady says incentives to further draw women into the sector will continue to be the priority of her projects and that of the federal government.
And the National Agricultural Land Development Authority, NALDA, demonstrates a comprehensive strategy to address the various challenges faced by women farmers. I want to implore our women farmers receiving support today to seize this opportunity to expand their agricultural scope, contribute to local and national food production, and serve as role models for others aspiring to enter the agricultural sector. I'm confident that this initiative will not only transform the lives of individual beneficiaries, but also contribute to the overall economic development of the Southeast zone. I urge all stakeholders, including government officials, community leaders, and non-governmental organizations, to work hand in hand to ensure the smooth implementation of this program. Together, we can build a resilient and prosperous agricultural sector that empowers women, enhancing food security across Nigeria.
Joining us in the studio is the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Office of the First Lady, Busola Kukoyi. She will be talking more on the First Lady's Women Agricultural Support Program, a part of the Renewed Hope Initiative recently launched for women in the Southeast. Thank you for joining us, Busola.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right,
good evening.
Let's begin with you talking us through how the Women Agricultural Support Program works. We know each beneficiary got 500,000 naira each, but beyond that, how does the scheme work?
Yes, this is a scheme designed basically for women who are involved in agriculture and basically those at the grassroots. The program targets women farmers at the grassroots going through their state governments to reach them. Now, this program is not just going to give them the grant that you have talked about. It goes beyond that. Now, for them to be able to utilize this grant and utilize it well, they will be trained in various aspects of their chosen field of agriculture, be it livestock, be it poultry, be it arable farming, fish farming, by the National Agricultural Land Development Authority, NALDA. So it's not just giving them the grant, but they're going to be trained appropriately how to improve their skills in farming. They will also be given inputs, as you saw in that report that occurred in Imo a few days ago. Now, for those into poultry farming, they are going to receive chicks, birds, and they're going to have cages. They're going to have chicken feed as well. Also, for those into fishery, they get fingerlings, they get fish ponds, and arable farming, they will get improved varieties of the crops that they would or they have chosen. Now, these are pre-selected farmers, and the process is the state governments, through the office of the First Lady of the various states, will be the ones to identify these farmers, maybe through their farmers group or the Ministry of Agriculture in the state, and then the Renewed Hope Initiative, an initiative of the First Lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, will now give them the grant, and through NALDA, they will be trained. Now, NALDA is not just going to train them in improved farming processes. It's also going to be the off-taker for their harvests.
All right, Busala, yes. It's from your comments, it's basically about growing capacity.
True.
Now, what are you reading of the body language of the First Lady in terms of using this initiative to create linkages for these rural farmers with the private sector groups and NGOs in breaking barriers, especially for the women farmers in Nigeria?
Yes, I'd like to let you know that the First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, has opened discussions with various groups in this regard, which in days to come will be, of course, unveiled. Not only this, she is very passionate about the fact that the women folk can do so much. Of course, not forgetting that if you empower a woman, you have empowered a nation. You train a woman, you have trained a nation. So if you empower a woman in agriculture, going by the mantra of this administration, and that is feeding appropriately the nation, then by empowering the woman in terms of farming and agricultural processes, then you would have been able to improve feeding and food production in the state. We all know how passionate women are about whatever they lay their hands on. So yes, she is very, very concerned. She's very resolute about getting women farmers to be able to produce optimally. And she's, like I said earlier, yes, talking to NGOs, private sector, and even government organizations to see how this can be improved.
So is it going to be a one-off program for the Southeast where it was launched, or are we likely to see it expanded to other regions of the country on a sustainable basis?
Yes, it's not a one-off. I can tell you that categorically it is not a one-off. As I speak, she has set machinery in motion to ensure that before the planting season commences in full, and we know that that's going to be about March, April, for major food crops that we have in the country. She has set machinery in motion to ensure that the other 5 geopolitical zones of the country, the North Central, Northeast, Northwest, South, and Southwest, have this initiative, the Women Agricultural Support Program, which is being put together by the Renewed Hope Initiative. They have them launched in all these geopolitical zones. No, it is not a one-off, and it is going to go around all states of the Federation through the geopolitical zones.
The First Lady has a handful of programs talking about Every Home a Garden and Young Farmers Club. How are all these programs coming along?
Yes, the Every Home a Garden, we know, is also a women-centered competition. Now, Every Home a Garden is a competition where first-time women farmers are encouraged to own a garden at home, not a farm, at home, so that the proceeds of this garden can put enough food on their table and that of their neighbor. What is she trying to do? I'm talking about the First Lady by doing this. That no matter how small, start something, then you watch it grow big. And she put a price tag on it, 50 million naira. So what's supposed to happen is by October, the entries would have gone to the various First Ladies of the various states, the wives of governors of the various states.
Thank you.
And then they will, and the Young Farmers Club, that will start off very shortly.
I must say thank you very much,
thank
Busola,
you
for sharing those perspectives with us, and we wish the First Lady the best of success on all those programs that you've mentioned.
Thank you very much.
You're still on. You're welcome back. Efforts to put the nation's economy on the right trajectory and foster national platforms for tracking gains in a painstaking process of bridging gaps by the Tinubu's presidency is receiving a nod by the APC Professional Forum. This is coming as the government at the center is edging above present realities to reconstruct the future where every Nigerian's interest matters. Political correspondent Abubakar Akwanga reports.
It was a long script delivered by the chairman of APC Professional Forum, Isa Yuguda, putting the Nigeria's economy in an ambitious state, inspired by measures taken by the Tinubu's presidency to reshape the country.
Having taken stock of the management of the economy, and by extension the country in the past 9 months, we are convinced that the Tinubu administration had little choice about the courageous economic reforms it introduced to tackle the lingering challenges.
The forum lost the efforts of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in areas of cost-cutting measures and enhancement of economic enablers for progress and prosperity of Nigeria.
The initiatives include the discontinuation of the multi-billion naira payment of subsidy on not only PMS but other petroleum products. The unification also of the foreign exchange window, also the intervention programs in the agricultural sector to boost food production, and the implementation of Orasanya report.
APC Professional Forum says if Nigeria is to speedily get it right and attain its pinnacle amongst the Committee of Nations, government at sub-national level must key into the foresight of the Renewed Hope agenda. In Abuja, Abubakar Akwanga, NTA News.
Transparent and honest dissemination of the activities of the federal government is a working guide that the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, reassured while seeking partnership from stakeholders. At an engagement with editors in Lagos, quality ideas were shared with a collective resolution that transformative communication strategy will be harnessed as a tool to change the narrative of information flow in Nigeria. Salihu Wanara reports.
Newsrooms in the nation's commercial city Lagos have temporarily collapsed to operate under one roof, as daily editors, weekend editors and online editors came face to face with the government's spokesperson. This is to build a partnership with the profession, whose members pride themselves as the watchdog of the society and update them about the government's activities within the last 9 months.
We are not even doing this for government. We are doing it first for our people and for ourselves. Because good report entails that you do something that promotes development, that promotes cohesion, that promotes unity, that is geared towards the prosperity that all of us desire to have. We inherited an economy that was in bad shape. And then this subsidy, a few people are just benefiting and carrying it away. So, but President Bola Ahmed Tinubu knows that it is not going to be an easy task.
The consensus here is the collective resolve by government actors to make information available and accessible to the media to upscale their role of informing and educating the citizens. In Lagos, Saliu Gwanara, NTA News.
We go to Borno, where the state government has offered automatic employment to 64 best-performing graduates of Vocational Enterprises Institute located in the outskirts of Maiduguri metropolis. Governor Babagana Umar Zulum announced this during the graduation ceremony of the first graduates of the institute, numbering 832 artisans cutting across 14 different skills and trades. Mohammed Goni has the reports.
The 13 years of insurgency denied a significant number of children and youth across the state access to education. Hence the decision by Professor Zulum to make job creation and youth empowerment part of the 10-pack transformation agenda. On assumption of office, Governor Zulum administration expended over 15 billion naira towards building and equipping mega vocational enterprise institutes, rehabilitated and put to use numerous of such centers across many local government areas to reduce the number of out-of-school children, empower youth and women, and create a self-reliant and productive workforce. The graduates of Mona Mega Vocational Institute, who have undergone training in 14 different trades that include computer science, carpentry and joinery, mechanic and hairdressing, among others, expressed gratitude for the opportunity given to them. Governor Bagana Umar Zulum, who congratulated the graduates on successful completion of their training, urged them to embrace the knowledge acquired to contribute in the eradication of poverty in the society.
The government has spent 847,277,297 naira for the provision of start-up kits to the graduates, in addition to 349,440,000 naira for a one-year intensive public welfare grant.
With the funding allocated by His Excellency to Tibet, in future the combined output of all our centers will be no fewer than 4,000 artisans annually.
Coordinator of the center, Zachary Ahmed, said the graduates are all IDP's children selected from the 27 local government areas of the state, and thanked Governor Zulum for his support to technical education in Maiduguri. Mohammed Goni, NTA News.
Census programs in Nigeria must be prioritized, as actual census data is vital to finding solutions to several challenges in the country, especially insecurity and unemployment. This is coming from a retreat in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State, where members of the Senate Committee on Population and the National Identity Card, as well as management of National Population Commission, are brainstorming on how to actualize the delayed national headcount, with emphasis on generating credible data. Oluche Adeabo has the details.
Nigeria's population, one of the fastest growing in the world, is put at the growth rate of 3.2%. Announcing demographic dividend has continued to form cause of discussions, just as this retreat also seeks to strengthen capacity of these key players in national population growth.
You are here to brainstorm with a view to generating ideas that will facilitate a history census.
For the MPC, it is ensuring continuous engagement with the legislative arm on areas of support towards the successful conduct of the next population and housing census and other programs of the Commission.
The Commission is convinced that conducting the next population and housing census is a huge investment the nation must make to launch Nigeria on the path of economic prosperity through proper planning and optimal resource allocation.
We are dedicated to collaborating closely with the Population Commission to address any legislative needs that may arise in the lead up to the forthcoming national census.
It is about 18 years Nigeria, seventh most populous nation on earth, last conducted an actual national census, and commitment here is to generate a new census data that will have the required credibility and reliable information for an all-round development planning. Oluseyi Adiagbo, NTA News.
President Bola Tinubu celebrates the General Overseer of the Redeemed Christian Church of God, RCCG, Pastor Enoch Adeboye, as he marks his birthday on the 2nd of March 2024. The President congratulates Pastor Adeboye on hitting another milestone and joins the body of Christ in thanksgiving for the celebrant's remarkable life of impact that transcends cultures and borders. He thanks him for his regular prayers for the country and wise counsel, noting his patriotic zeal and manifest determination to see Nigeria succeed, and prays for continual well-being in that of his wife, in addition to many more years in the service of God and humanity. Similarly, President Bola Tinubu congratulates a distinguished Nigerian, Alhaja Latifat Olufunke Gbajabiamila, as she turns 94 on March 2nd, 2024. He celebrates the accomplished politician and doting philanthropist whose life has been one of sacrifice, devotion to God Almighty, charity and service to Nigerians. The President prays for the nonagenarian and her family that Almighty Allah will grant her many more years in good health. Also, President Bola Tinubu congratulates Folake Akindele on the occasion of her 50th birthday, extolling the top fashion designer and her commitments to the craft, resilience, creativity, and peerless contributions to the fashion industry. The President also congratulates Tiffany Amber Nigeria as it marks its 25th anniversary and wishes its founder, Ms. Akindele, many more prosperous years in her endeavor to keep African fashion on the map. Michael is standing by with more reports in our Lagos studio. Hello, Michael.
Hello, Lami. One of the biggest convergence of inventors, innovators, and digital content creators aimed at shaping the future of Nigeria and the African continent through technological development is underway in Lagos. Minister of Arts, Culture, and Creative Economy reiterated government's resolve to provide millions of jobs for Nigerians in the sector during the launch of the Investment in Digital and Creative Enterprise Fund at the Medin Omniverse Summit. The four-day event is in collaboration with the European Union and other partners. Dana Jale reports.
The digital economy is increasingly becoming a force to reckon with, as it provides unique opportunities for people to showcase their potential.
This ecosystem can only grow by breaking down silos and creating strategic win-win partnerships. At the Omniverse, we call that the Remember Moment.
The Director General, National Council for Arts and Culture, Obi Atika, who is also the convener of the Omniverse Summit, said the forum is a critical platform for innovators to talk about trends, share ideas, and explore opportunities to collaborate within the digital and creative ecosystem while unlocking potentials.
We have more cultural festivals than any country in the world. We have more to offer than almost anybody, and it's time to bring it out.
The federal government is taking the lead with the initial seed of $617 million to kickstart an empowerment project which aims to revolutionize the digital space. Minister of Arts, Culture and the Creative Economy says the Investment in Digital Economy and Creative Enterprises Fund, also known as IDICE, will drive socio-economic growth.
The potential within this specific industry alone will give us the cultural expansion, the economic expansion, and the able to change the narrative of Nigeria.
Industry players believe opportunity the network will provide for Nigeria is limitless. The Minister of Arts, Culture and the Creative Economy is also organizing working sections for participants to contribute to the formation of policies and initiatives that will shape the future of African innovation. In Lagos, Diana Ajale, NTA News.
That is it from here, and when we return, Musa Abubakar is standing by for business news. Do stay.
You're still watching NTA Network News. Let's now talk business. The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has revoked operational licenses of 4,173 bureau de change operators over failed payment of necessary fees, rendition of returns in line with guidelines, as well as compliance with guidelines. In a statement by Director Corporate Communications of the bank, Hakama Sidi Ali says the CBN is empowered in its revising and the regulatory and supervisory guidelines for BDCs in Nigeria. It says compliance with the new requirement will be mandatory for all stakeholders, as the list of affected BDC operators will be available on the central bank's website. And to the capital market, the bears dominated trading on the Nigerian equities market to close Friday's trading on a negative note. The all-share index depreciated to 98,751.898 basis points from 99,980 points the previous day. Market capitalization dropped to 54.035 trillion naira. 367.6 million shares exchanged hands by investors on the floor of the exchange, valued at 6.782 billion naira, traded in 9,168 deals. And that was business. Nami, is back to you.
Thank you for the update, Musa, from the world of business. Now, navigating through several economic challenges requires the formulation of appropriate policies and implementation that will help bring desired results. It is in this regard that the Nigerian Institute of Quantity Surveyors, during a press conference in Abuja, urged the federal government to enforce the Executive Order No. 5 to tackle inflation, especially in the building and construction industry. Francis Udojo brings us the details.
If there is any way federal government can intervene, if it is by giving other people, empowering people to import goods, material, or to license people to produce other materials, which they can use and build house, it is in order.
The plight of this man is among the several reasons for the NIQS press conference. Recent inflation experienced in the construction industry, following astronomical hike in the price of cement, with a bag costing between 9,000 and 13,000 naira, and reinforcement steel rolls going for 1.2 to 1.4 as against 650,000 naira per ton before now, among all the materials, is a cause of worry for professionals in the sector, reported to have contributed up to 11.7% to the nominal GDP in the first quarter of 2023.
If you go to the Western world as I speak with you, there are homes that are completely built with timber. So we would encourage that there should be varieties of substitutes for cement.
The group equally urged government to discourage cartels in the industry for a seamless economic development. In Abuja, Francis Udojo, NTA News.
Now, the people of Umueze Aroli community in Onitsha North local government area of Anambra State say they lease Uwelebo Phase 1 Onitsha-Niger bridgehead along Enugu-Onitsha Expressway to Innocent Vehicles Manufacturing Company for setting up and assembling plants. Chinyere Fesiokoye reports.
Briefing newsmen after visiting the site along Enugu-Onitsha Expressway, representatives of the families of Umueze Lorry community Onitsha in Onitsha North local government area of Anambra State state that following a legal battle that culminated in a Supreme Court ruling affirming the Umueze Lorry community's ownership of the land, they have reclaimed possession of their land.
When I was in the House of Assembly, I came to the Commissioner for Utilities to report this matter because the villagers wanted to go and take their possession.
The place in question is our bona fide property. So our bona fide property, we won at court. The third court, even the first court of the land, Supreme Court, 1982 judgment is there. That is the subsisting and court judgment we have now. You understand me? If government is insisting that the place was acquired, let them come out, or let them come out with the papers.
While warning intruders to desist from the said land, the speakers say,
and the land was on lease to the government, but the lease has expired. So the owners of the land decided to come and take their land. And what are they taking their land for? To partner with Chief Innocent.
This deal with Innocent, the lease with Innocent, had been concluded 3 years ago, October 2020, even before the present government came in.
Reacting to the claims of the Umezalori community.
So us as a government, we have no idea at all that the land does not belong to us anymore. Indeed, assuming, let's even take it further, even if, like they contended, there's a lease and the lease has expired, the argument they made, which was why we had to acquire again. At the end of the day, the government reserves the right and land use act to acquire any land for public purpose.
Professor Mushazi explains that Anambra State government is ever ready to follow due process in all they do. In Oka, Chinyere Fesi Okoye, NTA News.
The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, reiterates that Nigeria is committed to tackling transformative challenges in the energy landscape through collaborative actions. He made the commitments while declaring the 2024 Nigeria International Energy Summit closed in Abuja. Lydia Sampson reports.
James Shinde has been driving the organization and hosting of the Nigeria International Energy Summit in the last 7 years.
This is not just a talk show. That's what sets this event sets it apart from other events, okay? Because what we do here is actually debate policy. And then we curate the reports and recommendations, which we then send to government for implementation.
For the SGF, the outcome of the 2024 Nigeria International Energy Summit must translate to a call for action.
In the spirit of inclusivity and cooperation, this summit has provided a platform for stakeholders to engage in meaningful discussions on innovations, policies, advancements, and overall trajectory of the energy sector in Nigeria.
A panel discussion on power with the Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu, amongst panelists, focused on bridging the energy access gap, address disparities in energy access in the continent and Nigeria in particular.
We seek to strengthen grids through power delivery and reliability. We also want to focus on models that have economic viability.
We must also identify key barriers, including financial, infrastructural, and policy-related challenges, and discuss how technology and innovation can play a pivotal role in overcoming these obstacles.
Energy experts drawn from over 50 countries expressed concern that deals on the table generated from the previous year's summits needs to be speedily implemented. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
And the federal government has pledged commitments to the provision of electricity in Nigerian universities through the use of biogas to reduce costs and ensure stability. Minister of Education Tahir Mamman stated this while inaugurating some projects at the Bayero University in Kano. Yohannes Hassan Barrow tells us more.
The project inaugurated by the Minister of Education Tahir Mamman includes a micro-teaching laboratory, Department of Anatomy in Faculty of Veterinary Medicine, and the Center for Reading Research.
To commission this structure, similar.
The minister says the facilities are coming handy at the time when Nigeria needs well-nurtured researchers.
When you move into a university, they don't know what is happening. They are not part of the execution, the conception, execution of the project. And then it fails like this. And then they have nobody to hold account. So we'll bring the might of the federal government to ensure that people are here to account on this.
Another point of call was one of the centers of excellence at the university, the Center for Dryland Agriculture, where a breakthrough has been recorded in the area of research, where the center now collaborates with private sectors to achieve sustainable food production and quality health. In Kano, Yohannes Hassan Barrow, NTA News.